Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where we currently have some work that we need to do on our demand. So let's go ahead and get to work on that for right now. Let's just replace some of this over here with dense residential. We're still working on replacing all of this. Why am I doing it here? We haven't finished this over here just yet. Let's go ahead and work on this. Fantastic. So we'll do something along the lines of that. Wonderful. I am noticing that this got auto-zoned, and there doesn't really seem to be a way to not do that other than manually zoning it, which, I guess I'll pass on. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and go through this and get all of this area dealt with. Yeah, that's definitely automatically zoning those rocks. I mean, they're relatively minor in the big scheme of things. I think it's okay. So I'm just going to finish zoning this segment over here. And that should definitely end up dealing with our residential demand. There we go. Well, we may as well grab this out here as well, right? Let's go ahead and do that. And I think I'm going to zone this over here too. We'll keep an eye on whether this development affects this coastline or not. I don't think this development is affecting the coastline, so we'll see on that one. As far as additional development over here goes, we certainly do have need of some additional office space, so we will put that in over here. Excellent. As far as additional commercial, there is some need for that as well. So we'll put a little bit in over here, and we'll see how that goes for now. Excellent. Okay. Now, as far as additional hubs go, I was thinking about maybe putting one in down here. That would necessitate removal of this rock formation, I believe. Didn't we build a prison? Maybe we didn't. No, we didn't have the cash at the moment. Now we have the cash. We probably should get around to building a prison, shouldn't we? Yeah, in terms of size, it has to be on the outside of one of the circles, and we're kind of running out of room over here. I suppose we could, in theory, slot it in over here somewhere. What is this? That's a crematorium. I'm going to relocate that crematorium to, like, in here. And then this medical clinic, I'm going to relocate to, say, over here. Okay. And then, in theory, now we can fit our prison up here. That angle's a little awkward, to be sure, but I guess it's okay. Excellent. So as far as this hub down here goes, I really do like having this be the center of the hub. I think that some of these rock formations are going to have to be removed. And what is this? This is an old cemetery? Indeed it is. That might get removed. And then we'll just have this castle be like our centerpiece here. Now the question is, what angle do we want to go for here? We've got our corner and our center points, so we could very easily have our input and output be, say, here and here. That could work. So this would go to, say, here, and then this would go to, say, here, like this. Now this in here, it's going to have to be square, which is definitely going to be a little bit awkward. And we can maybe get away with upgrading its size. I'm actually going to make a quick save here, because I only want to do this if this indeed ends up not destroying anything in here, which I think it would. So yeah, this could in theory be upgraded to be something kind of like this. That would work. That would certainly work. Okay. So this rock formation over here is almost certainly going to have to be removed, which I don't necessarily like. but it's not the end of the world. So for right now, let's go ahead and work on this over here. So we would want this to be, say, I think here. And then, actually, no, one square over. So not here, here, in theory. And then this one goes in here. Correct? Is that off-center? I believe that's off-center. Well, the thing about this is rectangular, right? This isn't square. So that's actually going to affect these sides, which are going to be longer than these sides. That's something that we do need to think about. What is the overall length of this? The overall length is 840. Yeah, that's essentially one square longer than it is wide. Correct? Let's come down here and double check our width here. That's 760. That's not quite 2 blocks wide. Okay, so it's 2 in total. So we could, in theory, have this come out here like this. And then this come in like this. And let's check our lengths here, 320 and 360. So we're one square off. I think that's going to have to be the way it is. Just because this is rectangular, it's going to have to be slight. It is certainly unfortunate, but I believe that that is no way around that, ultimately. So then this would come in theory, here. And actually, 1 over. 1 over. So, right there. Yeah. So this rock formation is going to have an issue. There's no doubt about that. And this, of course, needs to be one-ways. Fantastic. Excellent. I do want to check in on our traffic up here. Yeah, I'm not shocked by this. I'm not shocked by this at all. This is fairly expected. Okay. But I do definitely want to continue working on this. Now, one thing we could do is simply omit this road. And the question then becomes, what would that end up looking like? So essentially this would come out to, say, here. And it would come in over to approximately here. Actually, it wouldn't. It would come in to here, in theory. Book now and get a free handful of pellets to feed the fish. Like that. And then it would come out directly up here and would go directly through those rocks like that. Yeah, that's going to be an issue if we want to preserve these rocks. So we need to determine if we want to preserve the rocks and the graveyard. The graveyard is definitely going to be in the way. And I think maybe preserving the castle in the center might be enough. Maybe. But what we can definitely do... Well, for one thing, I'm actually going to turn these right on around. To be more like that. Fantastic. Counterclockwise. Thank you very much. And we are, of course, going to put in a curved road like that. Okay. And then we'll also put one in up over here, like so. And that will connect in right there, obviously. So, we are pretty much immediately running into space constraints here if we want to preserve these. Now, I don't have the mod installed that allows you to move these objects, although that would be nice. And maybe I should consider installing it. Maybe. Okay, we're going to connect that in. There's still going to be an issue here, of course. This is not designed to just truncate here like this. But this is definitely something to be considering. And yes, I do want this to be off-axis. As far as a connection over here goes, the idea would essentially be that this comes off of here at a 135-degree angle, like this, and connects in like that. And the same thing would happen down here, coming in at a 135-degree angle, like so, Over here, 135 degrees. But we're not going to build this yet because we need to have our semicircular function going in here. And that's simply not there yet. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to come in over here and put in a little bit more office because we apparently need that. And I want to double check some of our utilities real quick. How are we doing on power? Absolutely fine. How are we doing on water? We actually probably could use a water expansion here quite soon. So I'm going to put in a water pumping station right here and link that right on in. And then I think we will do... I don't really want to build eco-water treatment plants, but they're kind of necessary. And we don't currently have the technology for building better ones. So it's going to have to be simply an eco-water treatment plant inland. Okay. Yeah, I'm not super happy about it, but I guess it'll do. I don't want to put it over here. Over here would be nice, but it is already occupied, obviously. All of this stuff over here is. This would actually work pretty well. So let's do that, and I'm hoping that we didn't adjust the coastline there. I believe we did not. We did not. Fantastic. We're just off the coastline. There's absolutely no way that that's going to cause any water pollution whatsoever. We should probably look at our pollution map. Is that this guy? Yes. Okay, yeah, we're doing okay on that front. Okay, back down to this problem. I think that these rocks are placed in such a way where we should just go ahead and pave over some of them. And let's see here, straight line goes to here. That's fine. So we'll put that there, and then this would go here like so. That's just a single rock there that overall is eliminated now. I don't like it necessarily, but these things are all over the place out here, and we can leave some of them, like this over here, can be left pretty natural. But this is, I think, it's going to have to go. As far as the actual cemetery goes, we'll see what that actually ends up looking like inside of our pattern. I'm more likely to attempt to retain the cemetery than I am these rocks here, I think. So we can do something like that and complete our first circle. Naturally, we're going to also have our roads coming out here at 135 degrees. So, like that. Fantastic. Now, we do have this train connection down here that we will probably attempt to utilize. I wouldn't mind getting some... Well, is this going to get things out of here? Not necessarily, unless we were to take the train up here somehow, but our prohibition on constructing bridges is going to make that complicated because we can't affect the coastline in any way. Bridges like this were pre-constructed and are exempt, but if this bridge were to be destroyed, I'd probably rebuild it, if I'm honest. But if we were designing a new bridge, it would have to probably go underground. And we could maybe send the trains over underground. Have them pop up somewhere like over here or so. Maybe like extend this road out. The prison would probably have to move, but something along those lines is what I'm thinking. Right now, anyway. So this is definitely a interesting little thing. Now, naturally, we don't actually necessarily care about this being highway. I'm actually going to move this back to being 2-lane one-way because the only traffic that's ever going to be here is traffic that is generated within this area. There's not going to be any direct road connection over here. I have no idea how this is going to work mechanically. And this is a pretty cool feature over here. That would probably also be something I'd be interested in doing, is having another hub centered on that. But for right now, we're working on this one. And overall, Yeah, I like this concept thus far. So we're going to take this out another block, and we're going to build this out over here as well. Now, this is going to end up impacting these rocks, which I'm comfortable demolishing, I think. There's no real space on this map where we can build a hub without it impacting rocks, right? It's going to happen. So some of them I'm okay with removing, and we'll keep some like nature preserves and things like that. It'll be okay. I want this to come out to here and loop in like that, and then this one comes out to, where's this guide? Right here? Okay, comes out to here, loops in like that. Now, here is the ultimate question. Does this impact the cemetery? That is the ultimate question. The answer is no, it does not. Fantastic. I'm very, very happy about that. Okay, so we're going to connect all of that in like so. Now, of course, we're also going to need to get power over here. I have a dumb idea. I have a really dumb idea. It feels like this idea kind of goes against the spirit of the prohibitions. But we already have advanced wind turbines on the water over here. What if we built essentially a bridge of advanced wind turbines to bring the power over? It does feel like that goes against the spirit of the prohibition here. Maybe we need to have a unique power grid over here. That might be necessary. I mean, we do have access to solar power plants now. Solar power plants are pretty large, so we would want it to be on the outermost circle for sure. But it is a potential possibility. It's definitely something that I'm considering. And I would like to get a train connection up here at some point too. Can we take train tracks underground, underwater? Let's go to train... Oh, we can't build those until we have a train station. You know what? I'm just going to build a train station temporarily somewhere so that we have access to building train tracks. Where do we want to build? You know, we could just build it over here. Build it there. That gives us access to train tracks. We then demolish it and get at least most of our money back. And then we can repair these lines over here that got destroyed by the tornado. And we can also see how this is going to work. So, the connection would probably come up over this way, like this. And yeah, that would be fine. That would be something that we could definitely do. We could certainly extend this road out. I'm just thinking here about ways to make this slightly more efficient. We could have a road come out this way and curve over and hook in here. That might remove some pressure from this interchange here. I mean, that's not the problem, right? The problem is up here. But if we were just able to shift some cargo traffic down here, that would be a big deal. So we would end up having to relocate this prison to be like here, which isn't necessarily the greatest thing. And then this would come down over this way approximately. This would come out over, like, over to here-ish. And then that would curve in over here. Now that's slope too steep, which is intriguing. We may have to bring this straight out. 86 degrees. 86. 86 degrees. I have 90? I saw a spot there where it was 90, and it worked. Where was it? We might have to do a little bit of terraforming here. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's probably going to be for the best that we smooth this out a tiny amount. We're not looking to smooth it out too much, but just a little bit over this way. And we'll try to leave this intact for sure. So then this would, in theory, come out over this way. That's 82 degrees. 86, 87. Yeah, when we snap into 90, it becomes slope too steep. 86 degrees might end up being the only way that we can do this here. Which is slightly disgusting, if I'm honest. Now, one thing we should consider, actually, is that this is going to be a very, very busy road. I'm just thinking whether we want to upgrade it or not. One way is definitely not what we want. We may want to have it be a slightly larger road, and that actually comes out at 90 degrees just fine. Now, I'm not entirely convinced that it's going to fit nicely in here. Comes out at 85, that would be 90. Okay. So then we could, in theory, have it just come in like this.
The only restaurant with the servers are dinosaurs. Our
Like that.
animatronics are so real, you'll think a
So,
T-Rex is serving you T-bone. A pterodactyl
I
is
am
serving you teriyaki.
slightly concerned right now about the
Brontosaurus is
median
serving you
here.
chili dogs. Every dish is an archaeological find.
Mostly
Like our
because I'm
spaghetti,
wondering
our Raptor Burger Rex,
how
or the
exactly,
pile of crumbs
like,
sticking
say that
down
you're
the
coming
adventurous
this way, right? And the
food
train station is down
dinosaurs.
here. How exactly do you then come back this way? Do you have to go out over here and make your way all the way around to here, and then up to here, and then around here, and then in here, just to come back? That's not what I would prefer,
I'm not sure how I can though, since
in
I'm
all
sitting
honesty.
this booth all day. Maybe if there was a big chat room or a bunch of mirrors.
So I'm actually thinking about taking this back out and instead going with like a 6-lane road. Mostly because of the median here. Are there any of these that lack the median? No. Note there are not any that lack the median. Okay. So then it would come out like this, approximately, and curve in over here. But it has to come out for 1 block straight, and then it has to curve in kind of like that. Okay, so that would be the concept. At this point, there's no median there, and I believe they would be able to go whichever direction they prefer. So we'll go ahead and put in our... Well, that's a cargo train terminal, and that is indeed what we want. So we would put the cargo train terminal, say, here, roughly halfway between the two hubs. Okay. And then this would, like, curve over this direction. I would love it if there was another cargo train connection over here, but there is not. We only have the one connection, and it's over here. This is, of course, lacking power and water, and that is something that we can deal with, no problem. We'll just run power like that, and water can just come on out over, say, this way, like so. Now, there's no connection here, so this doesn't currently do anything. Well, let's go ahead and put in our train tracks here. And this is a one-way set of train tracks, and I think that might end up being what we want. So the train tracks over here, they're going to go underground pretty quickly. So they're going to move in something like this. And then we'll also have another set that come in over here and connect up something like that. Okay. And then these guys are, of course, going to make their way basically all the way over here. I'm not necessarily okay with this corner situation that we've got going on here, so I'm going to make a slight bend here and have it come into about here. And then we're going to have it come up over this direction, and that is not what we're looking for because I want to bring this in slightly underground. So I'm actually going to bring this in a little bit longer and have it come up over here. And then it will connect in up over here. And I do want this to be roughly bent in like that. Okay, so that's a way in. Now we need a way out for these train tracks. And we're going to have that come in and immediately dip underground. Like so. And this is apparently sloped too steep. Okay. We'll take that out of there then. And try this again at a slightly different angle. Maybe bringing it in. Actually, let's have it go underground. Straight. So it'll be something like that. And then we'll have it curve over whilst underground. And the idea would be that it comes down this way. Now, we're basically out of cash. But the question then becomes, how much would it cost to link this in over here? About 67k. I mean, that's a fair amount of cash, to be sure. And I knew this would be pretty expensive. But hey, at least at this point, we can have incoming cargo. So there is that. I'm going to bump it up to speed 3. And we're going to see about accumulating ourselves some cash. We are seeing a fair amount of usage on this street, which I am very happy to see. To be sure. And we'll see if that alleviates any of this up here, but I think just reducing the amount of cargo being shipped via our highways will go a long ways towards that. We may eventually want to upgrade these to 6-lane. I don't know. We'll think about it. For now, of course, we are going to be looking to get this moved in over this way. And I think we'll just have it come out pretty much straight like this. And then that'll curve right in over here. We'll have the cash in just a moment. I was hoping to have the cash by now. Hey, here comes our first train. Fantastic. It's currently underground. Here's our second train. And our third train. Those trains are really coming in, and now they actually have a way out as well, which is probably convenient for them, is my guess. The train just despawned. Well, that's exciting. But look at all of that cargo traffic coming out of there. That is wonderful. We're going to need another station down over here somewhere. And we'll have to take a look at how we actually want to implement that. But for right now, it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to see how this impacts this situation up here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And I will see you all next time.